Alright, let's try this again. Second semi-final, everybody. We're jumping in. We already had it hosted once, and then they started the draft. And all of a sudden, the teams were like, yeah, nice try, boys, but we have first pick, so restart. So settings were a little bit different. Well, Skya Foundry is what kicks us off here at the Panda Cup. Semi-final number 2, after we just saw Pippa My Lady go up against Washed Up. We now have Feel the Heat against the Swedish House Mafia. And it should be a fun one. I think this is probably going to be one of the closest series that we had in this tournament so far, given that both of the teams bought a lot of top players here in the European scene right now. And yeah, with the new patch and everything, I'm eager to see if we have a few twists in the draft now, or in the game itself. First of all, we got May banned out and Chromie, as we are looking at Volskaya. May's kind of interesting. She was ignored in some of the games that we casted in the upper part of the bracket, and in others she's been pretty much, I don't want to say a top pick, she wasn't really picked first or anything, but Washed Up played her now multiple times. Masquerade had really good success with her. Then again, it's always Washed Up, and you know that they are already in a fantastic situation there. So yeah, there's that. It should be an interesting one though, and I'm pretty much looking forward to it. Initially I didn't even know that we cast both semifinals here, which is awesome for us, because I kind of expected that we go from the semifinal into the grand final, and I was talking about it a bit between games, and all of a sudden X-Ray popped up in Twitch chat and said like, hey, we're actually waiting for you boys. And I was just like, awesome. Let's go. Urel as the first pick. That's a picture that we've now seen multiple times. She made a huge splash again at Method Mayhem, the previous tournament, and is still either banned out or very, very early picked. The hero has again made it towards the top in priorities on the off lane together with a few other picks. She's incredibly disruptive and a really, really strong pick there. So we have Mephisto. Picked by Marker. I mean, it's pretty much his like niche hero that he plays. He kind of brought it back a little bit. So, yeah, that's pretty solid. Malfurion comes in too. And we have now Ana plus Cassia on the other side. So Cassia has been nerfed a little bit. I mean, the patch just nibbled at numbers mostly. We have some heroes where talents got just like changed, swapped around. Tychus being a prime example for it. Blaze, of course, another hero that has seen some more severe changes. But generally speaking, it was a lot of just number tweaking that Blizzard did. Tassadar, Cassia, couple of other heroes there too, Mai for example. So we'll see how much of an impact that has. Mostly what we've seen is Tychus being played a little bit more again, with a heavy focus on level 13 and 16 into overkill in order to make him work there. But nothing really too crazy just yet. So the jury is still out. This is the first tournament that happens with a new patch. It's going to take a little bit for more to come through. Of course, now every Thursday from here on out until the monthly final, we're going to have another Panda Cup Qualifier. This is only the first one. Tychus gets banned, so does Liming. It's interesting to see in this series also Greymane not taken, because Washed Up has heavily spec'd into Greymane in all the games that they played, whereas now for these two teams he doesn't really play a role apparently. Johanna gets picked and so does Blaze, so it's again this like double frontline that has been proven to be insanely powerful throughout 2019 and 20 after the end of HGC, Washed Up being one of the primary teams to really hone in on that combo early on. And the final two picks for the House Mafia. The Swedes with, ooh, Mal'Ganis and the bird. Chris, is it you? Ah, it's Gia. Okay, so we get Backhult with Mal'Ganis. Nicely done. I didn't expect Mal'Ganis to appear here, especially since Lauber's team is apparently not playing in this tournament. So they might join for Qualifier 2 or Qualifier number 3, but they are absent in this one, and he was mostly the Mal'Ganis player. And Ultralisk graces that not with Medivh this time, but we get his Mafia. So yeah, good to go. Best of 3 series, the semi-final of the Panda Cup in Volskaya Foundry. Let's jump in without further ado. Feel the heat on Volskaya Foundry with X-Ray on Ana. Wit is playing Johanna, we got Dino and Cassia, Blade on Blaze, and Ultralisk on Mafia. On the right side of the map, the Swedish House Mafia with the Galnegulna on Malfurion, Gia on Falstead, Svamgrotta on Urel, Mak on Mephisto, and Backhult is playing Mal'Ganis. Yeah, setting us up for game number 1. It's already kind of awesome to just simply see that Mephisto again. from Mafia. I mean, he is really the top Mephisto player in Europe and one of the few that still plays the hero. And actually has a huge impact on him as well. I mean, he oftentimes gets even target banned on the hero, which is kind of incredible if you think about it. Most other teams don't really regard Mephisto as a hero that is worth picking. And he is just absolutely crushing on that. So, yeah. That's a bit of a look of how this one pans out. Already when we have a look at the level 1 talents, we see Cassia starting things off with his Thunderstroke. So trying to get the increased damage over here, stacking it through. And the Seasoned Marksman, which pretty much has, of course, the same goal in mind. 40 stacks for the quest reward when you have the activatable. So that's going to be pretty insane. And off we go. Rotation towards the top. At the bottom of the map, our Urel versus Blaze setup in the 1 versus 1. And I'm the bird. Falset is just like such a fun hero. It was kind of cool to see him in some of the tournaments make a huge appearance again. I mean, it was mainly Chris playing him, right? But I love that skin in particular. It's just like the dance animation on Falset is one of the best in the entire game, which is funny as hell. Just make that dwarf bounce, baby. And the sounds are also just fantastic. So yeah, it's pretty cool. But it should be a fun one. Well, Skya Foundry is of course a little bit scripted in the way that the objective spawns. I feel a little bit of randomness introduced might help the map and make it a bit more appealing, especially for an audience. But now that we have items being focused on after the 1 minute mark, we are looking at the healing beacon. And there's the big attack already flanking over a little bit from the side. The pullback from Ultralisk as he comes in with Maiev and nearly takes Svamgrotta down. And Ultralisk's Maiev is insane. And they're starting to really drop the items here too. We have the turret already down. Everybody wants to go for the healing beacon. Immediately making the move here and trying to get the first blood kill against Johanna. And she goes down. Massive slaughter over here. 2 down, 3 down. And they go for the 4th kill as well. Absolute bloodbath. 4-for-1 trade. And what an insane setup here. I mean, look at this. They just absolutely went ham once that the camp was about to be taken. And the blue team, yeah, they drew the short straw on this one. They got absolutely demolished in this fight towards the end there. Losing 3 heroes, a 4th one on the walkaway, and only getting a single counter kill. Whew. Great opening for the Swedish House Mafia. Fantastic opening for them. So now they have still 1 item over their opponent. They got the healing beacon. They have an entire level lead, which is also incredible for them this early on. Simply because it will allow them to grab the early level 7. And level 7 is going to make a huge difference when you're trying to fight over checkpoint number 1. And it will be fantastic for them here for the early game. If they can grab the protector on the back of that fight, that would be more than just a little bit fantastic for them. But of course, at this point, Falset is also still sitting topside. There is that added factor of having a global hero in your midst. So this is going to be great for the House Mafia. They wait for the level 7 and they're grabbing it now. And that means they can take control over the checkpoint without any problem whatsoever. At least they should be able to. I mean, Falset is coming in. Urel is coming from the bottom of the map. Already putting Wit into a precarious situation. He's not the only one. Blaze also has to go out. But they are holding on to this for much longer than expected. I mean, big shout out to Feel the Heat. They bought a ton of time for Maiev to get experience for them. They're still holding it. Damn, 42%. And, well, Dino, okay, he finally falls. Still level 7 talent advantage. 5 kills against 1 now. Yeah, Dino falling on Cassia there towards the end was a bit of a setback, but it was amazing to me to see how long they could hold on to the checkpoint, accumulate 42% on the progress bar, and zone the opponent off despite the fact that they were talent down. Nicely done. Quick fly from Falstad in the attempt to take the camp down, and get another turret. Now, of course, we have Boomerang on level 7, as you will always see on Falstad on this level. Just the best talent, bar none, on level 7. Even if you go for an auto attack build with the Hammer Gains and the Seasoned Marksman, you still want to have that wave clear that also gives you more value on your global. Stacking on Cassia continues, 25 stacks for her by now. In the meantime, we have the fight running hot over here. 99 percentage points right now. In comes the attack against Dino. Gets pushed out by Svamgrotta. And they are about to win this one. There it is. Objective taken. No kills against the blue team. But the first protector in the hands of the Swedes. Well done. And the rotation heads, of course, topside so that they can prepare for objective number 2 as they're just starting to move in right now. Bottom of the map, Falstad is taking the lane. He's going to push this out, can always fly top if need be, but they want to get the extra experience. And of course, for the red team, the goal is their fountain. Take this down, take it as low as they can so that they can pick it up later. With everybody now more focusing onto the protector. They're just letting this one slide for a little bit longer. They still have half a minute. There's no need to rush anything. You can still buy yourself a little bit more time. If your opponent focuses on the defense with 3 or 4 heroes, that means that they open the rest of the map up for aggression. And now there's, of course, level 10 abilities. Urel already jumping in. Ultralisk gets hammered in the smoke over here. But he's still able to get out. That fountain, on the other hand, is gone. Shocking, I know. But I guess we all saw that one coming. So now that the fountain is eliminated, they still have level 10. Svamgrotta just simply jumping into fort range with this Urel and saying like, hey, you want to play? I'm ready, baby. They're not really making use of the level 10 yet, outside of trying to get another item, which is pretty much the only thing they really can do. And for the blue team, it's the big question, can they grab heroics before that's the case? And indeed they can. So that's actually an opportunity for them to fight back. It's 5 against 1 kills, but this is the opportunity for them right here and there. But Blaze isn't here yet, and here comes the attack against Wit. Already the Valkyrie out. We got the falling sword on Johanna, not used yet, and they're not even trying to utilize it. Wit is so low that he is just not tempted at all to jump on the point and attempt to contest it. We now have 11 versus 10 on the experience. Svamgrotta again just jumping around and annoying the hell out of Wit. I mean, damn. Rotation down towards the bottom of the map now in another attempt to get one more item. 21 stacks now for Falstad. Cassia, by the way, is sitting at 45. So he is increasing the damage on the Lightning Fury continuously. And towards the end of the game, if you have a lot of long and drawn-out fights over objectives, this can really start to add up. I mean, on the damage numbers, we have Cassia now on 20,000. That's top damage in the game already as is. Followed by Mephisto, of course. Now, granted, these were all fights before level 10. We saw a bit of a skirmish over the healing beacon topside after the heroic abilities were available. But nobody really committed too much over here. So objective number 2 is going to tell us a lot about how this is going to go. On the experience side, in case you guys want to have a bit of a look here, minion experience incredibly close by both teams. Both are doing a great job of soaking all of the lane experience that they can get. And off we have it. Yeah, there's our little move straight through the bot lane. Bunker has been forced out. Top side, Falstad is playing this incredibly far back. Gia is not risking anything. They're already moving into the middle right now. We have Wit in a position where he's pretty much trying to solo hold the lane against the rest of the team. That's not going to happen. The towers are both lost already. Level 13 talents are now in. Second objective still hasn't been announced. But with the level 13 talent ready, that means Giant Killer is also available for Falstad. So that's good auto attack damage against Blaze and Jojo, which really starts to bring that build together for him. And in addition to that, of course, level 13 any moment now for Feel the Heat too. Despite the fact that they are behind, they haven't lost any big structures yet. The biggest disadvantage topside is that they do not have that fountain any longer. And of course, that they have a slight item disadvantage as well, since that healing beacon got taken. But Gia is fighting it out with Ultralisk, maybe a little bit too much. He barely makes it out. Nice call by him, but really clutch here. And they're just gusting them away, trying to buy a little bit more time. Here comes the falling sword as Wit is trying to re-engage, but he's not the only one. Johanna's already attempting to moving out with another use of her trade. But at the same time, the red team covering their bases, moving away, sending Urel topside quickly enough to take the lead on the objective. So far, so good. They're making their plays here. Svamgrotta claims this one. Blue team has now to contest. He needs to try and force him back. But at the bottom of the map, that's where we see Blaze. He has still not rotated up, which means there's only 4 heroes for Feel the Heat trying to help topside. That's a huge problem. Now, there's some experience that will be lost to the House Mafia since they can't hold that XP at the bot lane. Falstad is now rotating at least into the middle to help out here. Towards the top. Yeah, there we're going to see our 5 versus 5 with a bit of a delay, which causes a 54% lead for the red team. Ult had to be used on Urel. They're starting to jump in again. Jet propulsion doesn't really hit anything either. And they're fighting over the next healing beacon. and they might just get it. They move in. Here comes Jojo, though, makes her play, and the Gast, as everybody's starting to jump in. The tether on Maiev is good, though. The cage on the ground, but you just can't get it, and there's 2 healing beacons already on the ground covering the ass of the House Mafia. They still lose Mal'Ganis, though. They might just lose a little bit more. Mark is already low, and he's about to fall. Jumps out again with his Mephisto. They try to get enough damage in for the counter kill, but so far it's not looking likely. Ultralisk, low, but still able to make it. Well, actually, he gets away. Close call. But still, the kill goes to against Mal'Ganis. So all of a sudden, we have the blue team with a good situation for themselves at the top. Items are getting taken again. 35%. Mal'Ganis back in another 4 seconds. So the fight over Protector number 2. Not over yet. Not by any means. But still. Here's the attack over on the left side for another healing beacon. Dino's now moving in. It's not the only one. That's a 4 versus 4, ladies. Yeah, they're taking it. They want the item. They grab it. Can they get the kill? They're looking for it. But here comes Blaze with a stun against Marke. But he gets zoned out. And there's the ult. They're trying to take him down. And Blade is in trouble. Makes it out. But, ooh. There's the kill. Ultralisk. Bodying at this point. What a boss play right there. Falstad is flying topside to take down that Protector. Moves mid lane. Meets some of them halfway, or at least that's the intent behind it, I suppose. They want to go for the bottom of the map if they can now. 16 on both sides, and Feel the Heat is bringing this back. They got murdered in the early game. But now they're bringing the game back here. Falstad has 32 stacks, but look at Dino. He's at 62 stacks already. So he is starting to get some incredible damage for Cassia. I mean, this is only 12 minutes into the game. If he's able to continue that pace of stacking on his level 1, he's going to murder the late game. He is still the top damage dealer in the entire game with the 39,000 to the 33 that Mephisto has accumulated. Falstad with good pressure towards the top side forward. Gets some solid damage in. Forces the rotation of Blaze towards the top. And in the middle of the map, here's the aggression. And bottom fort has fallen. That's important for the third objective too. Fountain down, fort down. That's as much as you can get out of the second objective. And the stacking continues, of course. Not only for Dino on Cassia, but also for Falstad. He's sitting at 36,000 damage. Once the activatable is ready, he will be able to get way more damage in against the blue team. Against the frontliners. But this is definitely not over, by any means. Early game looked a little bit rough for Feel the Heat. But they are coming back into it. So now towards the top. Swamgrota is still holding this really bad. Oh, the cage! The kill! Mephisto is dead again. They dove underneath the fort with the minion wave. And with that, we have now 4 kills, 2-5. And they are coming back easily here. And honestly, a lot of it is really because of Maiev. Ultralisk is insane on that hero. He's just incredible. His Medivh and his Maiev are 2 of the heroes that really stand out for him. And he is just creating these opportunities for the team to get kills now. 4 kills against the team. Quest completed for Falstad. 13.5 minutes into the game. Another 10 seconds for Mephisto to make it back into the game. And they're trying to take the item down here. There's the jump as he's trying to go for Galne Gulnar. Okay, they don't give that item up all that easily though. But it's a 5 versus 4. They're still willing to fight it, apparently. Mephisto is coming back, but he's not here yet. They're dropping items. They're trying to hold on to it for as long as they can. Gust has not been used. No move on the Gust. Yeah, and he jumps out of the Valkyrie without any trouble. 39,000 damage now for Falstad. With all that auto attack damage, he is really doing a number on these frontliners. But he hasn't been able to take anybody down just yet. Yeah, he's getting it to be, it's starting to become a really spicy game here. 42 stacks now for Falstad. We're going to keep his auto attack damage in mind, of course, too. 68 stacks for Cassia by now. And, well, top side, that's where we have Marke currently sitting. Alrighty. Blade gets the experience for the team. Down here, attack towards the next fort. That would eliminate another one and send catapults through the lane. They have a global. They got Falstad, so that's always nice for them. That will allow them to negate pressure to an extent at least. But they haven't taken a single fort down yet. Now, 2 of the forts have taken damage on the blue team side, the middle and the top. But Feel the Heat has now nearly a level lead, which means an early level 20 for them. with Falstad, there's a good chance that level 20 will be soaked in time to contest the third objective. I would be shocked if that wasn't the case. But right now, we have an advantage, of course. And that is half a minute that you can now use in order to soak that. Yeah, Falstad is pushing out the bot lane a little bit. They got level 19 already. They will have to give up quite a bit of a progress on this objective, but they should still be able to soak it, especially with now the minion waves pushing in the middle and the top here, as you can see. 71 stacks by now for Dino. 50 nearly for Falstad. Him being on that bot lane and just pushing out lane after lane is really helping him on the setup for the auto attack damage. Alright. With a pause here. Apparently they have a little bit of an issue. I mean, honestly, usually what happens, and it's the case again, it's Ultralisk is having some trouble here. It's not really the first time that we see this. Ultralisk connection is an absolute, it's made of legend. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a map where Ultralisk did not at some point have a disconnect problem. He must live in some... he lives in Germany, I know that, but he must really live in some kind of hut in the middle of nowhere. Because every time he has connection issues here, that's a typical 3-2-3 moment. Tactical pause incoming. But it's a bit of a meme at this point. The level 20 talents are in, which gives us also the cooldown reduction for Johanna with the Heaven's Fury. In addition to that, we have the Imprisoning Light. And, well, the red team also wants their 20. 50 stacks for Falstad now, and here's the heroic abilities, or the storm talents, we should say. And they want another item too. So we have the Wind Tunnel, we got Serenity, Wind Tunnel, Seraphim, Mimic, and still wait for Mal'Ganis to make his choice, but you need to go for the play now. Oh, that could backfire. You're only 4. Ana needs to rotate in, and she does that right now, but there's already solid damage towards Blade. Blade needs to bunker up, and needs to bunker up quickly. Holds it as the healing beacon gets dropped. They're trying to use the choke point against them. Here comes the Wind Tunnel. Mark is still doing some work. Bunker is finally out, but they are also unable to join it just simply because the Wind Tunnel is still active over here. Oh, the Mephisto lockdown! The kill against Mal'Ganis, but Blaze falls too. Mark against the shield. Ultron is with the cage. They're trying to go for Maiev. He jumps out. There's the ult on Urel. Everybody's low, but there's still a healing beacon in play. And Swamgrota, he is just wrecking through them right now. Using Urel to his absolute best, but Mephisto falls. He drops everybody low. But it doesn't matter, they can't follow up with a kill, and here comes Jojo, jumping to her death pretty much. Jojo jumping in and apparently waiting for a follow-up that's just not there, so welcome to a problem. Urel gets also eliminated, holy hell. That was a hit by Maiev, but Dino is really doing work now. He's sitting at 91 stacks on his level 1. He's at 71,000 damage right now. Those Cassia plays are absolutely bonkers at this point. The numbers she puts on the board in these team fights are absolutely insane. X-Ray is still holding on to the point as they want another protector, and the rest of the team has started to take the wall at the bottom apart so that they can go straight away for the keep and take that one down. But damn, 55,000 for Marke. Died 3 times in this game. The only 3 heroes that haven't died yet are Falstad, Malfurion, and Ana. And talking Ana, she is commandeering the Protector, and they want to go for the keep. Now, they only have 3 heroes here. The defenders have a bit of an advantage as their heroes are now spawning, so that keep might actually not fall. They might be able to hold on to this. It's unlikely, but they are burning it down quickly. The one thing that's definitely for sure is that even if you get the keep, you won't be able to get the core. So they will get the keep, but they're not going to be able to go for the core here. So, yeah. Keep is down. Jojo is sitting in the middle. And Cassia still stacking. 94 stacks for her. Off we go. Oh, Malfurion, careful. Yeah, there's the Wind Tunnel. That was desperately needed. He was in trouble. Galne Gulnar comes in with Serenity. Comes in for the ult. They're trying to chase them. Top side gets pushed by a camp, so there's a chance that they at least finally eliminate a fort on the blue team side. And here comes the jump again of Johanna. This time a bit more successful, I might add. Goes straight in with the Heaven's Fury, but the fight is here. 5 versus 5. Bunker on the ground. They're starting to make the play. Urel with a hibbity hop. Starting to jump in once more, and Dino is still stacking. He's going to sit at 100 stacks any second now. Yep, sits at 100. Makes it happen right here, and they go for Swamp Grota, and he's in trouble. He's in a lot of trouble, and he goes down. Johanna comes in with the final hit, but it was, of course, once more Cassia setting all of it up. Another jump as they're trying to slow them down. Wit is missing the target by a second, though. But now they smell blood in the water and want to go for the core. Top lane is pushing against Feel the Heat, on the other hand. They lost the fort already, and now the wall is getting attacked at the keep itself. But they're starting to poke down here. 106 stacks now on the level 1 talent for Cassia. More and more damage coming in for her. And here comes another wind tunnel into the corner as the red team is desperately trying to hold on to the core for now. And so far they're doing a good job. But it's another 28 seconds until Urel is going to be back in play here. They go again for the kill against Blaze and they get it. Blade goes down. No chance for a bunker in this case. Bit of a problem here also with the interrupting the cooldown. But now we're looking at a potential follow-up kill against Wind. He's in trouble. He doesn't have an ult to jump out and he falls to the House Mafia. Able to get 2 kills, save the core and try to build up some momentum here. Top lane, the wall has fallen, the fort has fallen. Another turret might actually go down too. And now it's all about the next objective here. 111 stacks. On the side of Feel the Heat. Damage output for her, 86,000, but Maka is trying to catch up. 71,000 for Mephisto. He's getting more and more in these situations, but now, of course, with the 5 versus 3 on the map's wide open for the House Mafia. They're using it. Taking the first item. At the bottom left, grabbing the turret, already sending Urel towards the top to work on the healing beacon, and the fort in the middle has now been destroyed too. That one was the important one, since the next objective spawns in the middle. And it's starting to be party time here. That's 2 turrets in their hands. That's going to be the 3rd item with the healing beacon. And we talk a lot about the stacks on the side of Cassia, but let's not forget that Gia with his 4-set play sits at 66 stacks as well. 67 at this point. So his auto attacks are also starting to do more and more work towards the front line. And it's a little bit tricky. Urel just doing Urel things. It's like, yeah, I'm out of here, boys. Divine Steed, baby. That's the play. Backhool gets sniffed out. But what a setup here. Where is Falstad actually at this damage? Is it 56,000? That's not really bad. For Falstad, it's pretty solid. I mean, look at the siege damage. 177,000. That's Boomerang right there for you. Boomerang and the Global. Right there. That's his job. Control the lanes. Control the late game. Okay. So, for now, still, there's a bit of an attack play. Early Iron Skin. You need to be a bit careful with Johanna, of course, with the Iron Skin at this point, since the cooldown got increased. Can be a big problem if you're used to activating that just really whenever you want to. 88,000 damage now for Cassia. Working the damage in as the top fort gets destroyed. So that's an equilibrium when it comes to catapult pressure. And here we go. This is the big one, boys. This is the big one right here. Trying to go for the objective. Trying to go for another protector. Ready the attack against Wit. Jojo, careful. Already the tether. Backhold wants to make his way out. The rest of the team is covering him already. Not really a whole lot of ults committed to. Actually, none. Everybody's just poking and prodding. But the control goes to the House Mafia. The Swedes get the Valkyrie through. Oh, and there's the wind tunnel as they're trying to save Mal'Ganis. They want to go for Blade. He bunkers up immediately. So they're trading a couple of cooldowns. But here comes Jojo jumping straight on Khaldor now, forcing him to use Serenity as Johanna once again gets turned on immediately, especially by Falstad using the activatable here on the bird as well with a couple of additional auto attacks. The turnaround attempt by Blade as he goes for the stun. But here comes Steve. Sleep dart and Blade goes down. He doesn't have the bunker anymore. Ultralisk is trying to make the plays for the team and go for the counter kill, but he can't get it. 10 kills to 8, and they fall back onto the checkpoint. 28% in their hands, and they're now making the plays again for those turrets. Falstad, he can actually fly in, and he does. He was tempted to go down to the bottom of the map to push the lane out, but instead they're going to take the battle over here. Once more the jump coming in. It's a 5 versus 4, ladies and gentlemen. The blue team willing to take it, apparently. But they're not losing another hero here. Double turret in the hands of the House Mafia. 2 turrets. And Falstad is moving back. It's 3 catapults. We're looking at 24 minutes into the game. Those things hurt. They hurt. He needs to take them down as quickly as they can. Jojo is jumping in on the other hand. Once that they see Falstad at the bottom of the map, they know immediately that they can turn this into an even fight, at least for now. Maybe buy a little bit more time to get Blaze back in action. But the bird is back. The bird is back. 76 stacks on Falstad. He's getting the auto attack damage in. And here's the Protector. 25 minutes in, and we have another Protector in their hands. Cassia, the only member of the 6-digit club, crossed over into 100,000 damage right now. And the push through the top lane at this point. Falstad at the bottom of the map. He's going to fly in. He's going to push the lane out. He's going to try and take the catapults down. And he's going to fly in with the rest of the team. In an ideal world, he would move in a little bit deeper, take another catapult apart, but they know they can't afford of those catapults. They can't get to the core. Not this late into the game. It's Winion time. Falstad about to fly in, and here's the action right there. Cage down, Ultralisk in trouble, needs to be careful, needs to be really careful, needs to heal desperately, trying to move out as the Protector is moving in even further. Svamgrotta trying to jump in with Urel, goes for Ana, finds the setup, they want the kill, they get good damage in on her, but X-Ray gets away. As, yeah, Malfurion finally takes him down with the Protector. X-Ray down, Wind Tunnel, they go for the core right away. The bird is down, but that beast does so much damage at this point. It's actually insane, and this is gonna be game, ladies and gentlemen. The core goes down as the House Mafia takes the victory in game number 1 of the semi-final. Game number 1 was a little bit of a blast because Feel the Heat initially had... I mean, honestly, it was a little bit of a mixed bag there, right? So first, the House Mafia is doing pretty well, then Feel the Heat started to become more and more oppressive towards the later stages of the game, taking the keep down at the bottom of the map, nearly taking core, thinking about it at least, and then the House Mafia setting up a good defense, and all of a sudden turning the entire thing around. So it was pretty cool to see that the House Mafia was able to win that there, especially Cassia. Just got it stronger and stronger and stronger. So yeah, big shout out there. Mai again banned right away, and who would have thought Urel actually gets banned immediately after we've just seen her totally dominate on the last map. So, not really a big shocker if you think about it. But what else are we now gonna get from the blue team in particular? I mean, again, they wanna, of course, force the next map here. Question is just simply, can they pull it off? Okay, we have a ban quickly against the Dragon. Yeah, given that it's Infernal Shrines, I would have assumed that they might think about banning Mephisto out again. As we said, it's pretty much Make playing the hero most of the time, or nearly exclusively in the European scene. We had some other players also dabble in it, but never really to the extent that Make does. So he oftentimes gets target banned here, and that wasn't really the case on the last map. But, well, let's see what's gonna happen right now. We have Ana banned out, okay. That doesn't really come as a shock either. Oh, and the Imperious first pick. Alright. So Imperious picked first, and with that, we have a good setup for Wit already for stuns. They can always follow that up. We have seen Imperious with Blaze, for example, to get a few more stuns out there. Have the Wave Clear then also on Blaze for the off lane. If you want to play Imperious in the main tank position, you can always switch it around and just simply rock him on the side lane. But there's Svamgrotta with this Medivh. I said it earlier, it's not only Ultralisk that can play Medivh. So now all of a sudden we have it picked away. Ultralisk with his Maiev or with Medivh, which he is most known for. And now his Medivh gets picked away. Greybane committed too early on. We've seen this from Washed Up in the other semi-final. And yeah, it's a pretty good setup. Now, Tracer for Dino is, of course, still a hero that can be absolutely terrifying. And keep in mind that they actually picked Tracer into Medivh. So they fully well knew what was happening there. And they're just saying, despite the fact that he has those shields out and can mitigate a lot of the Tracer damage, we still feel that Dino can make it work for the team. If that's the case or not, that's a different question. That's something that they have to prove now. But at least they knew from the start what they would go up against here. And it's not like Medivh was picked as a Tracer counter. But I can guarantee you that the House Mafia isn't really too unhappy that they have a Medivh when they go up against Tracer. So that they can save a target once the Pulse Bomb comes out. Tanks get banned. Garrosh still up for backhold, which is one of his main tanks anyways. Could have totally seen him also go into one of the other two, which would be Johanna or Tyrael. Both would fit with this. Johanna good for the map, Tyrael good with Greymane, gives you additional shields there as well. Stukov comes in, so we have the potential lockdown after a throw or a stun, and Greymane can then capitalize on that. And gives us obviously a little bit more leeway if you go into a ley line setup. Just to name another potential combo here. But the final 2 picks for Feel the Heat. What's it gonna be? Feel the Heat coming through with Blaze and Junkrat. Yeah, called the Blaze early as we saw Imperius as the first pick. Junkrat, good poke from the outside, so you can get still value towards the objective on the shrine, even if you don't control it. If you just poke enough. And now, Macke on the last pick for the team. Is it gonna be a similar play? They actually don't really have a lot going on for them now on the offlane. If they want to have another melee, they would have to switch heroes around a little bit, I suppose. But let's see what we're gonna get from him. Phoenix! Alright, Phoenix, Greymane, Garrosh, the only real melee, and we have Medivh together with it. So a bit of a different approach here from the House Mafia. They have the lead in the series. Let's find out if they can make this a 2-0 victory, or if Feel the Heat is fighting back now in Infernal Shrines. Our second map. Let's go. Game number 2, the House Mafia is in the lead, and Feel the Heat now on the left side with X-Ray on Malfurion. And, well, as you can see right here, we're currently looking at Dino and Tracer, Blade on Blaze, Ultralisk on Junkrat, Wit on Imperius, and, of course, towards the right side of the map, Galnegrinan, Stukov, Macke on Phoenix. We have some God on Medivh, Backhold on Garrosh, and Gia is playing Greymane. Yeah, we're gonna keep our eye on the baseline setup in particular here for good old Medivh. Need to actually double check what he can pull off in this entire setup right now. It's pretty much the most important thing as we speak. But yeah, let's see what he can actually do with that. So right now, the little approach here from him, as we already look at the mid lane brawl between 2 5-mans. Nobody splitting a hero off towards the top or the bottom just yet. Level 1 talents with Blaze now on the new habits again. The Phoenix play from Macke is also going to be something that I'm definitely going to watch out for here. It makes for some interesting combos that we have from them too. Gia riding into battle with the majestic money pick, of course. But outside of that, we have now our 2 top laners, and that's Phoenix. Phoenix has everything that you want really from an off-laner. He has the self-sustain, mainly through the shield mechanic, of course, that he runs. He has an escape tool, and he has wave clear. So it's only the later fights that sometimes make it a little bit awkward if you're missing out on that second melee. But down here, that's an easy kill. Yeah, that was Junkrat caught a little bit off guard by that lurking arm. And then an insta drop as Greymane jumps in and rips him to shreds. Fantastic setup. Macke now using the mobility that he has here to make the plays between the mid and the top lane. And that allows the 4-man to go now for their camp. But it's pretty much what both teams are trying to do here. Medivh certainly sitting at this 3 stacks, so really too much. Bit of an attack towards Garrosh right now, as you can see here. And Burger makes it out. Backhold gets assisted by Swamgotta. And honestly, seeing him on Medivh is just always a pleasure. The guy is just great at that hero. So top side, Macke currently still doing his thing. It's an interesting approach. Again, normally you don't see that anymore. It's more so triple melee setups, or at least double melee setups that we're seeing. Very rarely do you see anything else, honestly. And in this case, relying nearly solely on, pretty much only on Garrosh at the front with the help of Medivh and Stukov in the back is definitely a little bit special. It allows for an annoying top lane against Blaze. That makes it pretty easy for Phoenix to push this out. But the later fights are going to be super interesting to observe here. So I'm really looking forward to that in particular. Already the approach towards the camps as the first objective is of course to be expected in just a couple of seconds over here. So that shouldn't really take too long. Shrine is announced in the middle, and the blue team is now also making their way towards the top left. I mean, you always want to make sure that you have as much of a setup topside as you can. There's no global in play that could ruin the balance here. So once the top lane hero makes a move towards the shrine, the other one should follow, or it's going to be a 5 versus 4 that you might lose. And talk about losing, they're losing another hero. Damn, and the timing couldn't be worse. The shrine is activating, and that's when Junkrat is down again. Ultral is getting caught for the second time here. That is definitely not good for them. Yeah, that's pretty annoying. He's not going to be happy about that. They might have to give up the first objective just because of that. I mean, it's a little bit early, of course, so they can still make the rotation now that Junkrat is out. But with 17-20 stacks towards the first Punisher, it's pretty much not winnable anymore. So the House Mafia looking very, very good in the early game with the 2 easy kills and the objective. Svamkorada doesn't even get a lot of opportunities to stack his talent properly, simply because there's not enough fights for him going on right now. And with that said, we have at the top at least a push from the blue team as they're trying to get a little bit of a trade towards the structures and take those down. Down to the bottom of the map, Khaldor gets attacked though. They're body blocking him heavily. I mean, holy hell. He has no chance. The Admiral gets murdered, and that's the first kill for Feel the Heat. Both teams now on level 7. Traditional build for Tracer, by the way. But of course, Gia jumps in and just gets the objective. But he's playing that pretty much alone. And control on the portal was actually quite nice. But Gia is still able to go out. This is of course one of the cool things when you're looking at the setup that's being played by Feel the Heat, and definitely also part of the thought process that they've been showing here. They have 2 heroes that are really doing well around portal control. Malfurion can lay down the lawn with a quick root whenever the portal is up, and in addition to that we have also Junkrat who can always mine it and then try to push someone out. In addition to that, you have the stuns that can be supplied by Imperius and also by Blaze. So there's definitely a lot of tools around the portal to make it difficult for Medivh to get value. But generally speaking, I gotta admit that House Mafia has been playing pretty well around it so far. Now, it's still before level 10 talents are becoming a point here. Yeah, another good setup, but he's alone. Gets the portal, and that's exactly what I've been talking about. Great portal control here, and Berghult likely gonna fall. Not even close. Wow. That was kind of nuts that he actually got out of there. Wow. But the portal control is fantastic. I really like the way that this is played by Feel the Heat. They're doing the best they can in order to control this portal to the maximum extent. 2 kills against 1, little bit of pressure obviously at the top side right now. But down to the bottom, it's just fights over the mercenary camps that we're seeing here. And honestly, the blue team is starting to take a bit of a lead in experience. Nothing crazy, and it will cause... They catch it quickly, as Greymane is now taking another wave down. But talking about catching things, Blake gets caught a bit off guard here in the middle as he walks between lanes, but not really taken down. Marke warps out, no damage on him. Easy peasy, easy dodge. And now here's the heroic abilities that we now have quite quickly too. So with that, we have, first of all, I mean, pretty much all that you would expect, right? Purification Salvo, got the ley line, got Stukov in this case with the massive shove. And not really any big surprises on the other side either. The Sticky Bomb is again in play. So everything as it's supposed to be. You look over to Junkrat, by the way, and you can see that also some of the things that I talked about with portal control is also reflected in the build that he goes for. I mean, we have him on level 4 with the Boom Pow, and then the Bogged Down as well. So a slightly different approach from him. But top side, yeah, Marke, careful. Is Blade actually going to get the kill here? Nah, the warp is there. The warp is there, it doesn't get slow. It still had the cooldown up on the fountain as well. So he's able to make it out. Khaldor pausing their game. And it's kind of funny that this time it's not Ultralisk. Ultralisk immediately, it's not me guys, it's not me. It's not me, I swear to God. I'm still here, I'm still here. Can you hear me? So, whatever caused the pause, yeah, it definitely wasn't him. That's definitely a first. But yeah, allows us to go a little bit over the map right now. Because we're 7 minutes in, and we pretty much have a dead even game. We have a kill advantage for the House Mafia by only 1, but you can see that top side, the entire wall has already been destroyed by the earlier rotation. The damage output, Tracer on 11k, Marke is sitting on 12,000. Bottom of the map, Gia is still holding on to this, but everything here is just, we are just talking walls pretty much. There's not really any damage on forts yet. The only significant thing is maybe that the fountain has been eliminated over here. But that's in the mid lane, and the next shrine spawns topside, so it's not going to impact the fight over the objective just yet. This, on the other hand, could be a problem. It forces out the bunker, there's the taunt, and they might get the kill. He's playing around the bunker still, but there's more heroes now coming in too. But Blade is able to get out. But they were definitely pressuring him hard. And if the team wouldn't have rotated this quickly to assist him, he might have died. And that would have been the second time and the second objective where the blue team loses a hero just before it spawns. So this time they avoid that. 18 stacks on Medivh, by the way. And this is the first real fight over an objective. The first big fight right here. So they're topside again. There's the bullet coming out already. They're trying to use the choke point for the stuns and the slows. And he already moves out. Leyline against 3. But can they follow up? They cannot. Riptire comes in too. Backhold is low. And there's another move. Nicely done. Medivh saves him for a moment. But Garrosh falls. Yeah, it's a good salvo, but that's... Oh, and that's a kill! The stacks! Oh, the stacks are all gone. The blue team gaining momentum. I have to say, I think that it's really mainly the portal control that they are showcasing here that makes it so difficult for the House Mafia. There's two aspects to it. We only have Garrosh as the frontliner. He gets assisted by Stukov and by Medivh, but the portal control through Junkrat plus Malfurion is exceptional. And solo frontline is always difficult. It's never easy. And it shows. It definitely shows now. 3 kills against 2. More and more control in these setups. And now with Medivh also losing his stacks, that's obviously a lot of potential damage towards the later stages that you lost out as well. It's tough. It's really getting tough here. There's a talent advantage now for Feel the Heat, and they are pushing through the top. The fort is likely going to fall here, and well, they're going for Garrosh. Berkul again gets... The placement is so strong on them. Now he's trying to turn it around here with a pretty decent flip. Goes for the portal again, but he's just pretty much on the run. They get the kill though. They get the kill against Malfurion, which is kind of incredible. Another leyline setup, and there's still a fountain topside that they could tap. Tracer isn't even here. She's at the bottom of the map, and that's going to be another kill here. Blade pauses the game. Apparently, they still have a couple of issues, but he's going to fall. So Malfurion is down. Imperius is going to drop. At the same time, Dino is pushing the bottom of the map, maybe a little bit premature. They are level ahead, though. The objective is going to go through part of the wall, so that Protector is still going to do some damage, but it's 13 against 13 Talons right now. And they will drop at least one more hero. So after they take him down, Blade and Junkrat, finally Ultralisk dropped, right? Like, he was already getting a little bit jealous. He was like, wait a second. You're getting a pause? What about me? I'm the resident drop guy over here. I'm the resident disconnector. So he got a little bit jealous. There's one kill in, and yes, now with the portal plays, they're trying to go for another kill. But he's able to get away at least. Going full on into this mind build. I mean, even on level 30, he committed to it with the Ripper, yeah? So there we have that. Tracer's just zipping around at the bottom of the map. Pew, pew, pew. Trying to take that fort down. But yeah. They are really trying to get... Oh, they are everywhere in an attempt to lock Dino in, but they can't. Try to go for the lockdown here, but not happening, my friend. Yeah, Dino is able to evade that with ease, I might add. Okay, 3-4. Now in kills. Level 14 versus 14. 1-4 destroyed at the top side. But we are still fighting for it. Medivh is back to 7 stacks. Not a lot. But yep. There we have it. Okay, what's the damage looking like actually? 22,000 for Junkrat. 24,000 for Phoenix. And Phoenix is still getting chased a bit by Blade. Marker. Okay, get some damage out, get slowed, but he can move away here. Now, Blade is putting a lot of pressure on the Phoenix right now. Even with that range advantage, it's still a big problem for him. He gets poked, he gets a little bit caught by a stun, and all of a sudden the entire setup turns. Now we have the bot lane heavily attacked, and that leads to another destroyed fort. 1 fort down. There's a quick move away. But topside, 1 kill, and that could be a second one. Ultralisk is about to go down. Oh, he gets the kill with the ult against Phoenix. So he at least trades. It's a 2-for-1 trade at the end of the day in favor of the House Mafia, regardless. But of course, Mark is not going to be too happy that he died there. Would have loved to avoid that one. Still a good play for them. Good rotation topside. They get a 2-for-1 kill trade. 6 kills against 4 now. But they have to catch up at the level 16. And they obviously will. They're nearly there. It is a fun game. That one was awkward. Dino with a panic recall. Can he actually get away from this? They really want him. And they will not get in the ley line. He dodges out on all of it. Berghult has not given up, but Dainu with a great escape right here. Oh, that got so awkward. He was trying to go for the camp, then he moves into the fog, sees Garrosh, immediately zips out, and then has to run around in order to avoid the rest of the team as they're attempting to getting a stun connected. But yeah, that looked dicey for a few seconds. Now they're catching Blade at the top. Oh, do they? Who's catching who over here? They're trying to catch him. He bunkered up mid-throw. Not even Garrosh can throw the bunker. This guy is working out his legs and back all day, every day, but not even he is going to be able to just stem that kind of weight. So the bunker locked him down for a moment. And yeah, no chance for him to do anything about it. 4 kills against 6, and Shrine is activating in the middle as both teams have level 16 talents. Yeah, time to shine, everybody. This is a bit of a moment of truth. Can the blue team win another objective, or do we finally have the red team coordinating this? Nice dodge on the damage once again by Make. Riptire is out too. That's a lot of ults that already got utilized here. That's a lot of ults that have been thrown out by Feel the Heat for very little value. They get the position on the Shrine for just a moment. So there's Berghult, gets the shield again, they get some damage out. But the problem is still that he's alone at the front and they don't have a lot of more CC available. So once more, Garrosh gets eliminated. Good shield coming in from Swamgrota. But there's again the displacement. Junkrat is just doing the 6 days to Sunday. Marke doesn't survive this either. That's 2 kills. That's a 3rd kill. Stukov is down 2. And Feel the Heat is definitely turning the heat up in game number 2. No doubt about it. With 21... Yeah, he dies again. With 21 stacks. Dies again on 21 stacks. Medivh is dead. That's the top keep about to be eliminated. Well, and that's one of the reasons why you don't go for a single melee, for single tank, ladies and gentlemen. Always have that offlaner available. Now, it's not quite fair. There's, of course, more to it than them not committing to a second tank or offlaner. As I said, the portal control is incredible, and just the plays that Ultralisk has been able to make with his displacement are insane. It's so difficult for Berghult on Garrosh in particular to just do anything here, because he's always getting bounced around or stunned out, so it's pretty insane. But now that the situation is just getting worse and worse, it seems like we are inevitably running into a game number 3. That keep in the middle is obviously gone. But the question is, can they hold on to the core for a little bit longer? The kills have turned around, but you just look over to the experience and it's half a level until Storm Talons. So things are rough. Things are very rough right now. There's another jump, and that is probably going to be game. I mean, Stukov is down already. Marke barely survives, but a lot of the damage got mitigated by the bunker. Punisher is still wailing away, and the core is down to 30%. This looks very much like we're going to head into another 3-mapper in semifinal number 2. Nice. Game number 3 coming up between Feel the Heat and the Swedish House Mafia here at the Panda Cup. Off we go. It was a pretty dominant performance by Feel the Heat on the second map. So now we're heading into Sky Temple in our semifinal. And yeah, it is pretty much the series that we expected, right? I spoke at the beginning of the best of 3 a bit about how I expect this to be close. And yeah, that's exactly what's happening right now. But there is still a bit of a discrepancy between game number 1 and game number 2. Gotta admit that. Second game, Feel the Heat just crushed. That portal control just wrecked Swamgrota. No chance for him, honestly. So we'll actually see how this ends up now, because the draft is going to tell us a lot. Sky Temple obviously caters a lot to you playing just globals in particular. But yeah, let's have a bit of a look of what's going on here. I mean, first of all, they're really taking their time. And we had a bit of a disconnect earlier between drafts, actually. So X-Ray had some problem with his PC, which gave everybody a little bit of extra time to just go to the bathroom, take a short break, take a breather, relax a little bit before the final one. This is still a single elimination system, so that means you lose here and you are out of the qualifier. And it's all about points. The higher up you place in the qualifier, the more points you get, and that of course increases your chances to qualify then for the grand final, for the monthly final, which is where most of the money is going to be dropped of the prize money there. Urel banned, that doesn't shock. We have seen May banned out again too. Tier and Sky Temple, I mean, honestly, it's really a couple of globals that you would think about now as well. I would love if one of the teams would all of a sudden come in and just YOLO it out with Vikings, Simuro, Abathur, just really try and go full on into that global macro style and play around that. Zeratul gets banned. But most of the time we don't really see that anymore. I mean, there are a couple of cancer comps that you can definitely pull out. I mean, even in HCC we saw Simuro and Abathur just reign supreme for a little bit. So there was that. But I haven't seen any kind of these comms in a while now. I mean, good old McDonald's build from Fnatic, where they went into the Panda setup and just barreled through the bot lane and crushed Dignitas with it, but that wouldn't even work these days anymore because of all the patches and changes. But here comes the Imperious ban. So, okay, so we're gonna try and set the pace here a little bit for it. With first picks coming up, kind of will reveal also a bit where we're going from here on out, but you can see they're really taking their time right now. And they better. I mean, this is for all the marbles. Rhaegar first pick. Damn, that's super early. Okay. That's a really high commitment to Rhaegar. Now, he can help you with the camps. I would have assumed that we're going to see also more of a focus into potential boss control here. Falsehood is always nice for the Mighty Gust around bosses. Tyrael is really good here too, depending on how you want to play it. And, well, with Zul, you have a really good rotation between two lanes, so that you can push... Yeah, well, there we go. Zul comes in, so we have already really good wave clear that they can rotate between two lanes. We get Falstad together with that, so that allows you not only to play a bit more of a global strategy, where Falstad can always fly in on a temple, or try and enhance a push on any lane, but in addition to that, you also have control over the boss point. So whenever there's a fight over it, you have that Gust as a tool in your arsenal. Can of course be countered when, let's say for example, the other side picks a Tyrael and you get a good simplification out. But that's already interesting. And a counter pick into Dehaka, making sure that you have at least a global that you can play as well, so that you have a chance there to like counteract these plays a little bit. But yeah, I'm a little bit hyped for this one now. I especially want to see what gets picked together with the Zul and Falstad setup right now. And also what the House Mafia does, because this one tank setup on the last map didn't really work. I mean, again, as I said, there was a bit more to it with the Medivh zone in there, and Medivh pretty much negated by the picks, but still. And talking Medivh, he gets banned, so does Tracer. So two of the heroes that we saw on the last map get immediately eliminated. So like, yeah, not gonna be playing that shit. With Marke on the side of the House Mafia, they're like, Tracer, nah, let's back off on that one. And Ultralisk, as I said, Maiev, Medivh, great heroes for him. Currently sitting here on Falstad, can always swap around and switch it up a little bit with the rest of the team. Alright, let's go. Karazim and Greymane. Oh boy. Oh boy. Aggression is real, damn. Blade as the last pick, so we have Wit really on that Zul main tank setup now. And Karazim together with it. I mean, Bone Prison can already work for you here. Alright. This is gonna be hyped. Yeah, this will be special. Cassia and Tyrael. There's the Tyrael pick. I highlighted him earlier. Can negate a lot of the potential plays from Feel the Heat, and is helping you on the boss. And oftentimes when you have an even game on Sky Temple, it comes down to a boss fight. It comes down to a big clash on the boss, one team throwing a Hail Mary, for example, really dedicating their time to it, and then all of a sudden it's a question, who takes this? But yeah, this is gonna be an interesting setup for both teams, and Blade now is the one with ETC. Okay, so they could actually switch into ETC side lane, ETC main tank, but it's gonna be a fun game, guys. Game number 3, semi-final here at the first Panda Cup Qualifier, and Feel the Heat goes up against the Swedish House Mafia, so let's jump straight into Sky Temple. Sky Temple, the final map, and to the left. Yeah, we got Feel the Heat with Wit on Zul, Dino on Greymane, Blade on ETC, Ultralisk on Falstad, and X-Ray on Karazim. And on the right side of the map, the House Mafia, sitting there with Swamgota, rocking his own global, playing Dehaka now in this third game of the best of 3 series. Gia on Jaina, we got Galnegulnar on Rhaegar, Make on Cassia, and Berkult on Tyrael. Alright, this is it. Who makes it to the grand final to face off against Washed Up? That's a big question right now that we have to answer. Falstad with stacking on level 1, same is true for Cassia. We've seen pretty much an interplay between the two already in one of the earlier games in Volskaya Foundry. Interestingly enough, it's now flipped. We have Falstad on the side of the blue team and Cassia played by the House Mafia. Rhaegar also with the Wolfram on level 1. Block party for ETC over here. And yep, talking about ETC, Blade is already trying to zone them out from the top a bit, creating some space for these two to get damage in on the tower. And that is some serious work done early on in the game. That is actually really impactful. Taking that tower nearly down means that if you now grab a temple, you will get a lot more value and could potentially take that fort down just a bit earlier than your opponent. So in Sky Temple, whenever you are able to get damage onto a structure without using the objective for it, you are doing great. You're playing fantastic. So ETC was just played and moved in here in order to slow them down as they rotated top, and he did that perfectly. You don't die, you just slow them down, and you allow Karazim and Greymin to go in the structure and get the damage in. So that is pretty good what they just did there. Now, of course, you also want to survive, and that's a problem because Wit gets wrecked as Svamgrota comes in. There's another quick tong in the drag, but Dino is able to jump away from it. But that was a really cool setup to get the kill here from the House Mafia. So nicely done by them. Really good move. And they still didn't take the camp, though. Camp was already taken previously by Feel the Heat. But still, it was a good idea here. If they steal the camp away as well, then it's obviously jackpot right there for the early game. But that was still a really, really nice setup from them. So far, pretty good play. So towards the top, that's where now Blade is starting to move in again. We also have the level 4 talents, and that gives us pretty much the standard setup here with the hammer gains after the initial pick. Svamgrota, Essence, and he's able to get out. Yeah, try to turn it around here with a good drag, but not that easily. Okay, top camp is on the other hand already pushing, so it's a bit of a late pick on the bruiser camp for the red team, as they're now already moving towards that wall, but obviously you kind of need to take this one down as well. They want to go for another quick elimination of some of these structures before the objective spawns. As I said previously, if you take those early and you do damage, then you are just setting yourself up for a pretty fantastic phase, and like for a pretty fantastic shrine phase, and Ultralis can help out with that. At the bottom of the map there's experience already lost a little bit if the Haka doesn't hurry up, but Svamgrota is already making his way in now, so he's not going to lose out on anything, since those experience globes allow people to go for more sloppy rotations than in the previous iteration of the game. So he has no problem making that happen. Yeah, and now it's just like exchange in shrines, or at least the attempt of it. There's always going to be a bit of a fight back attempt as they are pushing them back, but especially the top temple is super important now, because this is where the damage was already done earlier by Feel the Heat. So if they get top temple control, it means that they have a good shot at taking that fort down. So that would be absolutely amazing for them right now. They already got some shots through the middle, but now that Bakul takes the top, you can see what that leads to. They save the wall for the time being, the House Mafia, but there's still that poke commitment that we have from Feel the Heat, as they're aiming to get at least a couple additional shots in to eliminate that tower and also that gate. And yep, here we go. 1 down, 2 down, and that will target now the fountain. So they're just exchanging fire, and it's just back and forth the entire time. The slows already against Ultralisk, Svamgrota moving in and threatening to go for another drag. But now that we're having the last final shots fired in the middle, you can see where this is headed. Just look at the minimap and you pretty much know what's going on already. This entire wall has fallen, the fountain nearly too. At the top it's a similar picture, but you look towards this fort and it's a completely different story if you look into the middle as a comparison. So right now, Feel the Heat is ahead. They are ahead, and it doesn't really seem like much in the early game, but this current situation means that Feel the Heat and the House Mafia, if they trade evenly on objectives from here on out, that Feel the Heat will always be a little bit ahead and attack keeps through the objective much quicker. So it's good for them. But again, this is super early on, so we're not there yet, and Svamgrota gets locked down, was trying to move out here, but yeah, they really had his number. It was a bit too far out and they called it. And of course with that kill, they can now rotate towards the camp and steal that away. So yeah, good setup for them. This is exactly where you want to be here. There's obviously a little bit of a poke happening, but there won't be any commitment to this position. Not with the 4 versus 5. That's just not happening. So the Siege Giants get stolen away. They can't use them for their own purpose. Next camp on the left side is attacked shortly afterwards, just rotating in, trying to take that one too. Falstad is controlling the top lane, gives them the vision that they need, and also has still the experience here, which also, by the way, means that Ultralisk, with his boomerang, can take level 16. Look how he, by the way, slows this down. He doesn't want to push this out, because if he does, he's going to find himself here and in a very gankable position. So if he just sits there and soaks the experience, he lets the minion wave come in, so he pretty much stalls it out and freezes the lane a little bit, and it makes it much safer for him, and very unsafe for Dehaka, who got baited a bit too deep. Didn't see the rotation coming, was apparently not called out, didn't expect it because the shrine was about to spawn bot side, and that's usually when everybody on the opponent's team moves back down. But, well, as you can tell, that's not quite what happened. So Dehaka comes back onto lane and dies a second later once more. That's pretty much what happened there. And now that we have heroic abilities, we got the mosh pit in. No stage dive, even though it was an option. And there it is already, the dancing doggy! Okay, goodbye Galne Gulnar. 3 kills to 1, capitalizing on the early heroic ability. Well done. Falstad eliminates the top fort. Things are definitely not going too well for Feel the Heat right now. They're losing out on the bottom temple, which means that the entire wall is going to get wrecked, and there's going to be damage on the keep too. We have Wit coming in now at the top. There's the isolation, but guess what? X-Ray is here too! 7-sided, baby! The sanctification counteracting it, and now all of a sudden X-Ray is in a bit of trouble. Comes around and takes Cassia down though, and that's a kill. Yeah, nicely done, and the rest of the team is starting to rush away here. But Wit falls. So yeah, that's not the only one that has fallen, so we can take another quick look at this. At this point, it was really the moment when X-Ray comes in and still gets the kill against Tassia, and then jumps away. So yeah, job well done by him. But so much for that. Boss gets attacked down here now. And let's see what they can do with this. Can they actually take this one on? Should be able to. Yeah. Red team, as we jump into full-on vision again, is completely unaware of this. Or are they? They don't have sanctification, so that's the big game changer. Without saying, oh my god, he's still going for it. He has no mana left either. Okay, the explosion value might actually change this, but the boss is already taken, but they still get the double kill. ETC and Greymane are both down. Alright. Now the boss got taken, but they lose 2 heroes in the process. Not sure if that was really worth it. X-Ray is also getting nearly murdered here. Is able to make his way out, but that was tricky. Yeah, the boss is at least taken, so there's that, but ooh boy. That got a little bit weird. Very, very strange. Top side, here we go. Ultralisk, there it is. Gets the quick flash through, tries to get the position, nope. And Wit is gonna go down, isn't he? Yeah, that was a sad Panda play. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Up at the top, I think they're gonna save Falstad at least. Falstad! Yeah, he gets out. But yeah, just look at this again. At this point, you know, they try to go for the camp here, then you have the Gust coming through as they're trying to take it, but then on the escape, Wit gets eliminated, and now as a result, you see the top lane pushing with the exact camp that they were fighting over. This is the camp that everybody was fighting over and where Zul'Dan died towards the end. So the invade wasn't really worth it, and now they're losing as a result another fort. So what started out fantastic for Feel the Heat is now slowly brought back by the Swedish House Mafia. Now, from a structural perspective, the blue team is still in a better position. They have taken 2 forts down against the one that just was eliminated topside, but momentum is starting to swing a little bit. Now, the good thing for the blue team is that X-Ray is still holding on to the temple at the bottom of the map. And Jaina can't really push in there too quickly. Gia needs to take this down too. Topside temple, of course, is now slowly taken by the House Mafia, but they are a little bit late on this. And with the temple here by X-Ray means that another fort in the middle falls. So it's pretty even now. 5 kills to 5, 14 to 14. Structural advantage still. A pretty solid one, to be fair, for Feel the Heat. So they are still heavily ahead on that account at least. And they're trying to go for the kill against Marcus. Sanctification is out. Dino nearly falls. Ancestral. And they're trying to get them pushed out. Blade slides through, stuns them out, trying to escape here. There's no fort to hold for him. And he nearly gets... yeah, he gets eliminated. They zone him off with the holy ground. So another good kill. And that brings them ahead, the House Mafia, at least on the kill count. It's a weird game. It's a little bit of a... honestly, it's a bit of a scrappy one. It's kind of all over the place. People trying to set up ganks, trying to set up traps, invade camps, and half of them feel like they are just working out. The other half is just failing miserably. So the game is kind of all over the place. Yeah. It's the HGCF, the Heroes Global Clown Fiesta. Nah, it's not that bad. But still, you can see that everybody, of course, in this game is trying to get the advantage by simply committing to a gank, invading a camp, playing just a little bit more greedy and more risky than they usually would in a lot of these cases. And you can see that here too, so they are starting to invade a bit again. It's level 16 that both of the teams are looking for. There's still the 1 fort advantage that we have, so all these structures still have to be taken out because we're even. And that brings me back to my initial point. If you go for just normal, like, if you go just like for a tie on objectives right now for trades, then you are going to lose out if you're the House Mafia. So they are the ones that will eventually feel the pressure here and might have to commit to another boss move. Boss is going to be up in another minute or so. And topside is already getting slightly attacked. Yeah, they're trapping again. They're trying. There's a slide and the insta blow up. Beautiful combo. Beautiful combo and a mosh pit as a follow-up. That's 2 kills already and they're going for the 3rd one. Fantastic play. I mean, just look at this again. There's the slide, they come in, they instantly blow him up. And then the mosh pit, it hits 3. They get a follow-up kill. That's the 2nd one. And then they get the 3rd one too. Great play. Really, really great play. A lot of these aggressive moves haven't really worked out for them previously. But that was the money move right there. They got the kill. They are able to destroy a few structures up at the top. Zul takes camps in the meantime. They have full on map control. They can go for another siege camp down here. The shrine or the temple is activating soon. So that was a really, really good play by them. Yeah, solid job. Really, really solid job. Okay, it's 8 kills to 6 now, but look at that lead in experience. And look at the map control alone. The lanes are so far pushed out. Vision alone is a big problem. And it's at least 16 versus 16 talents. We have 40 stacks for Cassia. Compare that a little bit to what we had at the end of the game on Volskaya for Dino. He was at 130 or so. So Market didn't really get a lot of opportunities to stack heavily. I think 12 minutes in, we already had 60 stacks for Dino and Feel the Heat played Cassia on Volskaya. So they are definitely lagging behind a bit. 35 stacks for Falstad in the meantime, so that's roughly the same speed. But it's the Keep that gets attacked at the bottom of the map now. Keep is on half HP. That's exactly what I meant with trades earlier. Ah, nice isolation. Karasim is in trouble. Yeah, Karasim is in a lot of trouble. 7-sided saves his ass. Can he jump out? Indeed he can. Jumps out, is able to save himself. And Falstad is still sitting at the top. They're fighting a 4 versus 5 here, and there was definitely a call to Falstad, don't fly. Stay. Stay on top, push the Keep. And that's what he does. He pushed the Keep right now, and they have to send someone back. And right now, they can't. So instead, they're just trying to trade at the bottom for the temple. They're doing what they can here. But Falstad is pressuring the top side more and more and more. He has the boomerang. He burns the minion wave away within seconds. And now he's just eliminating that Keep. That's going to be the first Keep of the game. And they're getting experience. So let's not forget, they're getting experience. They're denying it to the opponent. But Blade seems to be dying. And can they get another one? Probably not. Yeah, Blade nearly down, but they try to go for the structures here. Falstad is coming in. Falstad comes in, looks for the fly, and gets it. Outside of the 7-sided. Now that's unlucky. That's really unlucky. Oh, that was a problem. Yeah, flies in and gusts them out of the 7-sided. But the top keep has fallen. Top keep has fallen, top bottom keep has taken a lot of damage. So yeah, that was kind of unlucky on the coordination, as you can see. So he comes in from the side. There's the gust just as the 7-sided comes through. So that didn't really do anything for them here. And of course, afterwards, the fort gets eliminated. The red team rotates with the 5 versus 4 advantage straight towards the boss to take it. And since Gust is out, there's nothing that you can do. I mean, maybe... I don't even think that if Gust wasn't used... I mean, if Gust doesn't get used by Ultralisk, then I think they still go for boss because they have the 5 versus 4. But after Gust was utilized and 7-sided, 2 ults down and the numeric advantage, there was absolutely no reason for the House Mafia to stay away from the boss. That was an easy choice. Level 20 talents are in, it's a little bit quicker, but the situation is very similar to what we had previously. The big lead for Feel the Heat is kind of gone, but they are still ahead. They still have eliminated the top keep, and they have the bottom keep at only 30% HP, 25%. So if you get Siege Giants, for example, you might be able to get the lane just through that. 20 versus 20 now on both sides, which gives us, by the way, not only the holy arena, but the infinite lightning now, so you can see in those fights even more bouncing from her. Early ancestral. Very early ancestral here too. There's the isolation, gets the contagion out, doesn't hit too many. Wind tunnel into the corner, nice, good damage against Khaldor, and X-Ray wants him and they get him. There's the kill, and the sanctification is just a little bit too late. And there's more party time as BTC says, let's go and dance, baby. But they get at least him. 2-for-1 trade. Regardless, though, the red team is rushing away. Dainu, is he going to look for the follow-up? Dodges out on the drag, but there is the help barely. But they get the kill. Jaina's dead, and Berghult dies too. Yeah, and it all started with this little setup over here. Here comes the Gust, and then they home in on Khaldor, and they take Rhaegar down. And after that, ETC comes in with a mosh pit, and it takes a downhill trend from there for the House Mafia. The keep at the bot lane gets taken down. There's still Siege Giants making their way in, and with 4 heroes dead and only Dehaka there, that's game. With pausing? What? Okay, Falstad is actually dropped, so Ultralisk isn't there. Now, I don't really know if you need to pause the game here. You have 2 Siege Giants. I guess one of them is going to start attacking the keep in the middle, but the catapults come in. But I assume that they don't really want to risk anything. So, Falstad, yeah, Ultralisk is back, so it's only a couple of seconds. I can understand it. It's the 3rd map. You don't want to lose to any weird setups here. But that was, of course, an insta-kill anyways. GG, as Feel the Heat advances to the grand final of the Panda Cup.